A moment, my lord. My agents have found no trace of Solus. He has simply vanished. If he does not wish to be found, there's likely nothing we can do. But I will keep looking.
Why would he just leave? Something must be wrong.
You said he was upset about the orb.
That can't be the only reason.
Now that Corypheus has been defeated, we have a moment to stop and celebrate. Afterwards, you will be busy. Every noble in southern Thedas is clamoring to meet you.
The fighting's over. Why do they want to meet me now?
You're joking, yes? They wish to bask in the glory of your victory, hoping that some of it will rub off on them. Everyone knows Gaspard owes you a throne. The greatest empire in Thedas is at your beck and call. 1,000 problems remain, and your opinion will be sought on each one, whether you wish to give it or not.
I don't see what the fuss is about. Corypheus needed to be stopped.
And you are the one who stopped him. Previously, you were an upstart, nothing more than a leader of rebels and heretics. Until Corypheus revealed himself, they could not see the single hand behind the chaos. Once he did, they knew. A Magister and a Darkspawn in one creature. The ultimate evil. Now you are the only power left standing. Enjoy the evening while you can, Inquisitor.
Alright, so I'm supposed to retire to my quarters. This is, interesting. I always like when a game isn't, like, totally final. It still has a little something left over after the big climax. One of my favorite games that ever did this was Red Dead. But, I don't know. It might... I don't know exactly what it's going for here, but that would be kind of neat to have, like, a sort of epilogue situation going on.
Am I imagining it? Or do we have a moment to breathe?
I can scarcely believe it.
The Conclave, Haven. It seems so long ago. You should hear the stories they're telling in the barracks. The pride in their voices. Some of the soldiers have requested leave to return home, but many would follow us still. You are proof that the Inquisition has made a difference, and that we will continue to do so.
That's why we're having this fancy party. Celebrate, Commander. You've earned it.
I should be thanking you. You gave me a chance to prove myself. In your place, I'm not sure I would have done the same. I should let you mingle. I'm sure everyone desires your attention. Enjoy the party, Inquisitor.
All this pomp and ceremony. Can't top seeing that bastard Corypheus burn. No matter what happens to me now, I can say I was there. I helped you bring him down.
It took all of us, but we did it.
I shudder to think where we'd be without you leading us. So now that you've saved the world, what's next? Hoping to put it all back together?
Someone has to fix things. Might as well be me.
If anyone can do it, you can. If you ever need my help, you know where to find me. I'll be ready.
Thanks, Tom.
I've been starting to think about putting all this into a book. I'm thinking, this shit is weird. The Inquisitor's Rebellion story. What do you think? It's a working title.
I'm glad you've gone back to writing.
Well, nothing's certain until it's in print. I still haven't decided if I should do this book. As if anyone will believe this story if I tell it. Not to mention, I'll have my hands full with reconstruction and relief efforts in the Free Marches as soon as I get back.
You should write the book.
I'll see what I can do once I get home. I'm not leaving for a while yet, though. We'll have to get in at least one game of Wicked Grace before I go. Curly needs to win back some of his dignity.
They're all happy. There's still fear. But you helped them all. You healed what was hurt. They don't want to forget what happened, even if it gives them nightmares. It would hurt less, but it matters to them.
The fear reminds people of what they fought for. It gives the victory significance.
It's part of being people. I know. I don't understand, but they need it. I think I could return to the Fade if I tried. I'm light enough to slip through, but I'd like to stay and help for a while, if that's all right. I can still help people here.
For tonight, we remind the world and each other that we're alive.
Yes. Because of you. Thank you for letting me stay.
Finally got a party, yeah? A bit of fun for saving the world. It's the least Andraste's herald deserves for making things normal again. Except for, you know, everything ever again. I mean, is this for us or for her? Or, you know, him? Because I was there and I still don't know what's real.
What do you think, Sarah? Like you said, you were there.
I think you seemed real sure of it along the way. Of the Maker thing. I guess you'd know by this point. Seems like you did it right, mostly. Still some things to do yet, right? Because I'm in no hurry to go back to... Valrio. That's where I was. You mind if people still stay around? Or whatever?
This is home, if you'll have it.
Shut at you. I cry, I'm punching everyone. Alright, enough of that. Is this a party or what? Raise them for winning! Big freaking heroes, Inquisitor. All of us.
Who else do we have?
So, demons, dragons, giant asshole Vint on a big magic rock. You don't let it get dull, boss. Good stuff.
How is that good in any way, Bull?
We all walked away. Chantry folk are picking up what's left of Corypheus with a dustpan and a pastry scraper. The Ben Hathrath are still worried about the Inquisition's power. Happy Corypheus is dead, though. I expect they'll call me back for a more detailed report. Not many experts on demons and old magisters under the cube.
The Inquisition owes you a great deal.
Hey, you paid me a great deal. And we're not done yet. Corypheus was a busy guy. I figure we've still got some cleanup work to do. But not tonight. Tonight, we get shit-faced one last time. To us, being alive, and the bad guys not. Anan.
I was passing through the hall this morning and a serving girl saw me and squealed. Actually squealed, dropped her laundry and everything. Such a mess. She was completely breathless. You were at the battle with the evil one, weren't you? I didn't even get a chance to answer. She hugged me. Hugged me. This is your influence.
That's what happens when you're a hero.
Is that so? Must be why it's so unfamiliar. Mind you, I can't say I hate the notion of being the good Tevinter. I suppose you can't all be evil bastards. The blacksmith said that, and he spat when we first met. I hope my father hears. He will shit his small clothes from shock, I swear.
You're an example of how noble Tevinter could be.
For Southerners, maybe. Back home, they'll be rolling their eyes behind their fans. Meanwhile, they'll conveniently forget the bastards who wanted Corypheus ruling us all. I've decided to stay with the Inquisition. For now.
You will?
Tevinter lacks the presence of my best and only friend. It'll keep.
Ugh, I should never have hired new caterers so late.
Leave it be, Josie. Everything's fine.
It is not! I'm so sorry, nothing's quite as it should be. Do you like the drinks? I'm not sure about them.
The drinks are fine. It's been a wonderful evening.
I hope you're not just saying that. You're not, are you? What a disaster. late, the invitations to our guests barely went out at all, and it was so wonderful to prepare for a small banquet instead of the end of the world. Do you know what everyone is talking about tonight, from commoners to kings? Us. Thedas is discussing the success of the Inquisition.
You played no small part in our rise to power.
You had a role yourself, if I recall correctly. Truly, we will never forget those we lost. But for tonight, to victory.
Enjoying the refreshments? Josephine sent all the way to the capital for the petit four.
Oh, I love tiny cakes. And there's so many. Which should I try first?
I would avoid the dark ones topped with gold dust. Deep mushroom and anise. An awful combination, but it's quite popular in Val Royeaux. I believe they call it the exquisite misery. Orlais, why did we save her again? To you, Inquisitor, for all you've done.
I can't believe it's over. It seemed an impossible task. Defy the Chantry, build the Inquisition from nothing, defeat a creature that would be a god. And yet here we are, celebrating.
What's important is that you're here with me.
There was a moment after the orb exploded. I thought for certain you were dead. I prayed, don't take him from me, not after all we've been through. And then I saw you through the smoke. Sometimes the Maker is kind. I intend to rebuild the Seekers of Truth, to make us the Order we were meant to be. That will take time. Meanwhile, I am free to remain here, with you. I think back to how we first met, and here you stand, the chosen of Andraste, proven in the eyes of all Thedas, and you are the man I love. How did that happen, I wonder? Know that I will always stand with you.
Right. So you had quite a bit to say there.
So much to do, my dear. I'll be returning to Val Royeaux to organize the loyalist mages. Our new Emperor requires my expertise during what is certain to be a difficult transition. But that will wait. Are you enjoying the celebration? Josephine was in a frenzy arranging it.
As a matter of fact, I am.
And well you should. It's a miracle we survived this ordeal. Go mingle. The night is still young.
I think that's about it. Excuse me. Is there anybody I'm forgetting? I feel like there could be. There's, yeah. Talk to them. Him. Yeah. Yeah, no, I gotten everybody. Well, I'm gonna retire to my quarters then.
A moment before you go. There's something else I wanted to say.
Oh? Lead on. What's this about?
Everything is about to change. You will be drawn in 100 different directions in the weeks and months to come.
Cassandra.
No, it's fine. I simply wanted to steal a moment, while I still can.
Tis said that Corypheus woke after his long slumber and found the world gone awry. He fought to bring back those days of magic and shadow, to raise himself as a god and set things right. Now, we are left with a scar in the sky to remind us of what almost was. It tells us that a great victory against chaos was won, but left the world forever changed. Consider the mighty empire of Orlais, where Gaspard has ascended to the Golden Throne. His rule continues only so long as he bows to the will of Brianna, the first elf to be granted titles and land. Soon, new rights are granted to elves throughout the land. Plans are made to tear down alienage walls. The Emperor chafes under her command, but can do nothing, even as an alliance of nobles considers open rebellion. They hesitate only because their respect for the Inquisition remains strong. So the Empire remains locked within an uneasy peace, though it seems only a matter of time. The Grey Wardens of the South slowly rebuild in the months following the events at Adamant. They declare it time for the Order to emerge from the shadows, to join the rest of humanity in fighting their ancient foes. Rumors abound that they severed ties with their leaders at Weishaupt, and that a bitter war now rages between them. What becomes of Hawke is unknown, save that all news out of Weishaupt soon ends. Does the sudden silence indicate a battle within, or something far worse? 1 month after the defeat of Corypheus, the Chantry names Leliana as successor to the Sunburst throne. Given the name Divine Victoria, she first declares an end to the Circle of Magi. The mages will now govern themselves. She opens the priesthood to other races, declares support for the Inquisition, and rededicates the Chantry to the principle of charity. Divine Victoria is controversial from the start. Several new sects arise, resisting her reforms and declaring her rule a threat to the faith. She meets with their leaders, urging unity. Miraculously, her words take root, and for now, the Chantry remains strong. The Inquisition's mages, the former rebels led by Grand Enchanter Fiona, are left with a choice. When Leliana disbands the circles, they leave the Inquisition and reform the College of Enchanters as a new order. The college, they say, will allow mages of the South to gather in peace and seek new solutions to age-old problems. For the moment, it appears to be working. Mages are enjoying unprecedented acceptance throughout Thedas. And what of the Inquisition itself? Its military might has grown, now rivaling that of kingdoms. Fear of the Inquisition's army has become the true source of its power. I leave Skyhold now, knowing that power will continue to grow. The Inquisitor is a symbol to many, a leader of the changing world order. To others, he has become a target. They linger in the shadows, waiting for their day to come. When it does, the Inquisition shall stand, ready.
Well, that was the unexpected end to Dragon Age Inquisition. I'll be honest, I was expecting there to be a couple more parts ahead and perhaps a final quest, well, I was expecting this to be the second to last quest, but evidently it's the final one. I don't know, I just felt like the pacing wasn't quite there just yet, but, you know, I was incorrect in that. Okay, so, I guess it's time for a review. I've had a lot of opinions on this game, and I've made them known throughout the playthrough, but I want to preface by saying that, and I said this earlier in the video, that I have enjoyed doing this playthrough immensely. It's one of my favorite playthroughs that I've done, and I feel like, obviously it's the longest playthrough I've ever actually done on my channel, and it's one that I consider to have been somewhat of a test for myself as a Let's Player and like sort of a resiliency. I've had playthroughs that go for like more than a month or so, but most of the time it's due to or it's been due to inefficiency on my part, or just not getting around to making a video on it. This, you know, I was uploading almost daily for 2 months straight. And, you know, we're at, what, like part 51, 52, something like that, and we're finally done with it. And I gotta say, in a way, I'm kind of proud of this series and what it's done for my channel in this, you know, in the perspective that it's helped me grow as a commentator, you know? And I feel like a lot of people have enjoyed the series, and it's gotten a consistent viewer base throughout. And that's relatively new for my channel, considering, you know, it's been kind of getting itself up off the ground running for, you know, 6-7 months or so. And I feel like this will be somewhat of a cornerstone for you know, building onward. So with all that having been said, and making it clear that I have enjoyed doing this as a playthrough, I haven't enjoyed it the same as a game. And I'm going to be completely honest. Had I not been doing a Let's Play of this, I probably would have stopped playing it quite a bit ago. I was very optimistic going in. If you go back to the first 10-15 parts of the series, I was probably the first 10. I was very hopeful and optimistic, and thinking to myself that, you know, there's so much content, there's so much to do. Yeah, there's a few little, like, side quests that are a little bit menial and kind of boring, but I'm sure they'll fix that. You know, I'm sure that that's just this little part. But that's not true. It's the entire game, and that's the part that frustrates me, is that, I'm going to be regurgitating some opinions you may have heard before if you listen to Total Biscuit, but I've had these opinions for a while now. And I just heard them from him. I was like, yeah, no, I agree with him completely. And his whole thing is like, the game has little sections where it's really interesting. You know, it has really good pieces, but it's so marred by all of the monotony and senseless and nonsensical fetch quests and crap of that nature. And it's like every single place I go, it gives me like 1 or 2 quality quests that have a storyline to them and are interesting, and then it fucking topples on top of it like 10 additional quests that make no difference to anything. And I'm just thinking to myself this entire time as I'm doing this, is like, the only reason I'm doing this is for the entertainment of you guys. And you know, I don't want to give the false, you know, false perception that I didn't enjoy doing this. I did, but it was for different reasons than, you know, the typical gamer. I enjoyed playing this game because you guys were watching. That's the main reason behind it. And yes, I had good things to say about it throughout. And you know, and I think that's the big thing that a lot of people, you know, don't come away with movies or video games or TV shows enough, is that there is good even in something that's not necessarily that good. You know, I look at Dragon Age Inquisition, I think to myself, this was, you know, it was a decently made game. It wasn't like, it's not a piece of shit by any stretch of the imagination, but it had a lot of things that I didn't like in it. And one of those big things was the MMO style, in which, you know, it's just completely, you know, fills everything up with all these like little meaningless side quests. I said it already, and that stuff bugs me. A commenter mentioned that this is kind of a something that BioWare tends to do, but I disagree. Like, they brought up that Mass Effect does this as well, and to an extent Mass Effect does it, but it doesn't do it nearly as often as this did. You know, Mass Effect 3 had a lot of meaningless shit in it, and it was kind of annoying, but the thing about Mass Effect was that it had such good pacing. Mass Effect was very good at putting you in a sort of a linear path, but still giving you freedom. Like, you were going on this certain journey, and along the way you could kind of choose how you wanted to go about it. Whereas with Dragon Age, it's just like it shoves you into these places, and it's just like, yeah, you're here now, figure it out, asshole. And I'm just like, this is not good game design. You don't just fucking shove someone into this completely new world and just topple quests on top of quests, and expect them to just be like, yeah, okay, this is good. I didn't enjoy it because of that. It just felt so like jarring, because you have a plethora of quests, but you don't know which ones are the actual good ones. And only like 20% of the quests that I played were really quality, in my opinion. I feel like this game is kind of the epitome of 2014 in quantity versus quality. And in 2014, quantity was more important to most people. Or style, and you know, even more so style over substance when it comes to graphics over gameplay. And yeah, you know, I'm gonna shut up in case there's a cutscene up here, but I'll continue in a second.
I knew you would come. You should not have given your orb to Corypheus, Red Wolf.
I was too weak to unlock it after my slumber. The failure was mine. I should pay the price. But the people... they need me. I am so sorry.
I am sorry as well, old friend.
Okay. Well, that was a thing that happened. Dreadwolf. Shit. That sounds familiar. Okay. You know, this is one of those issues when it comes to, you know, not having fully 100% studied Dragon Age before going into it. I did study it somewhat, but I'm not, you know, 100% certain of everything involved in the game and the lore. So if anybody can kind of explain as to what that was all about, I'd appreciate it. Clearly Solus has some sort of secret he's hiding there. And you know, I should probably also say that, you know, I probably didn't get as much enjoyment out of this game as I could have had I played Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. And I fully recognize that. So when I am, I guess, quote-unquote, reviewing this game, it is from an altered scope than other people, you know. I don't know what the opinion is of certain people that played those games and have played this one. But just from my experience and just, you know, from the gameplay that was there, even without the lore, I just found it to be kind of lackluster in certain aspects. And I hate that I'm dogging this game so much because there were aspects of it that I really enjoyed. I liked some of the characters. I thought Dorian was an excellent character. I thought Blackwall, even though he didn't have the most dynamic personality, I feel like he had an interesting backstory to him. And I knew that there was something there, and it was just kind of getting through to it that was important. But at the same time, you know, where there's, you know, some interesting characters, there's also some not so interesting ones with people like Solus, for example. And even though Sarah, I didn't like her personality, I'm not going to say she was not an interesting character. She had an interesting personality. It just annoyed me, which is why I tended to not kind of get to know her as well as I probably should have. And honestly, that may have been kind of selfish on my part. And reflecting on it, perhaps I should have regardless, just for the sake of the viewers. And yeah, you know what? That may have been a mistake on my part. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Like, and part of my opinions on this game and why I'm kind of bashing it more than most people probably would is because of the fact that, like, so many people are giving this, like, Game of the Year, and I just don't get it. Don't get me wrong. 2014 was not the strongest strongest year for gaming. It had a lot of stinkers, and I get that. You know, when games like Wolfenstein: The New Order, like, I'll be honest, and if you go back to watch my playthrough of Wolfenstein: The New Order, I said at the end of that playthrough that at that point was the Game of the Year for me, and I maintain that. Wolfenstein: The New Order is my Game of the Year for 2014. And that's not because it was like a perfect game. There were a lot of things that I didn't love about that game too, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, something that was basically an 8 to an 8.5 for me was the best that I got out of that year. And Dragon Age Inquisition had good moments, but it also was muddied down by really boring and monotonous moments. And because of that, I probably couldn't, if I had to put a number on it, I probably couldn't in good conscience give it more than a 7.5, and that even then I'm really being generous. In all sincerity, it'd probably be in the 6s for me. And I hate saying that because this series was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed doing commentary on it, but as a game, it's not necessarily the same thing. You know, I feel like when I reviewed Thief, I had that issue where I loved doing a playthrough for that game, so I feel like part of my mind was altered, my mindset on that game was altered because of that. So, you know, I'm trying to kind of distance myself from, you know, reviewing the game as doing a Let's Play and look at it as, how did this game do? And, yeah, that part was kind of subpar. Another thing I'd like to say, outside of just the gameplay itself, would have to do, you know, with the graphics, and obviously, the graphics are excellent. Like, honestly, very well done, and I'm very impressed, you know. For a third-person game especially, you know, seeing the detail and the textures and all that is very surprising, because they don't have to be this detailed with their graphics, because you're not so up close. In first person, you're up close the entire time. You're seeing every little minute detail. And most first-person games that I play don't put this kind of detail into every little texture and every, you know, graphic or graphics, every bit of the graphics in their games, you know? So in that sense, I think that BioWare did a great job. As a PC port, I am a little bit less than impressed, considering BioWare tends to, you know, or at least in my experience, they tended to pride themselves on their PC ports. This game crashed constantly for me. There were a lot of issues with recording softwares, which isn't really, that has nothing to do with PC port, but it's like, as a Let's Player, it gets kind of annoying sometimes when the game corrupts, you know, a video file that you make or something of that nature, or the game is going to be more likely to crash because you're recording. It just makes things really annoying for me. Another thing is that it's very difficult to maintain 60 frames per second regardless of your settings. Like, I had this thing on absolute 100% low settings, and I'd get the same sort of frame rate, you know, drops and all of that I would out of high. And it's really strange how it does that, but it just, yeah, the frame rate is really inconsistent in this game, and it doesn't seem like it's even that reliant upon hardware. It's just like, it'll dip between 40 to 60 all the time, which is why I didn't do this playthrough in 60 frames per second, by the way, because I feel like it would be kind of lying to you. Like, if I'm advertising it as, oh, this is 60 frames per second, when in reality it's more so just about 40, 45. I just felt like that would be kind of disingenuous. But anyway, this review's going way too long. Yeah, I don't know. This game was okay, but I was leaving, I'm leaving disappointed, and I feel like that's just really a microcosm for the year of 2014 and gaming, is that I'm disappointed. I was expecting so much more out of, and I just am leaving wishing I had a little bit more than I got. That having been said, I did play this for 70 hours, so I definitely got my money's worth out of it, and yeah. Anyway, before we stop the video, I should probably say that I have no fucking idea what I'm going to do for playthroughs for the next 2 weeks, because I was not thinking that it was going to end this quickly. There were a couple of scheduled things that I was going to be doing with Alex and Chris, but due to scheduling conflicts, those things are not going to happen. Unfortunately, we had an entire month to get shit together, and people flaked out like 3 or 4 times, so that unfortunately is not going to happen. So the horror game that I was advertising, not happening until probably the summer. So I'm probably going to have to figure out another game that I'm going to pick up, but I'm going to be doing Gat Out of Hell, the Saints Row thing, at the end of the month, as well as Dying Light. A viewer bought that for me, and I'll be sure to credit him for that when I start, you know, playing the game. I'm treating this as an update video at this point. Jesus Christ. Okay. Anyway. I hope you guys enjoy the series. I really do, and I enjoyed making it for you guys, and I enjoyed the mostly nice things that I heard from people, and I'll endeavor to make more great series such as this one in the future. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe and all that. And I will see you guys next time. I know I'm being really quiet right now.